one of the things that we prepare the trucks for is the way we use them on the side of the road, or working in our fiber business, or working when we're responding to a hurricane or whatever the need that the truck has. So we're going to talk about, people have asked us to talk about it. So in this video, we're just going to give you an overview of the systems. This truck is in the process of receiving all the systems that we add up to the truck. So we're going to start from the front to the back and go over that. So the first thing you notice here that we have the front grille off of the truck. And the reason we take the grille off is we're going to install lighting in the grille. And we've already done it here. You can see this wiring harness come off, and you can see these lights are installed here. And these are the lights that are going to go up in the grill, and we'll show you the finished product of that. And then we use a company called Feniex, a 6-light light bar that we're going to mount right here. This is a speaker that we utilize for our radio system. So we have radio systems in these trucks, and sometimes for our situational awareness on the side of the road, you've probably been around line trucks or people that are working on power lines or something, and the radio guy talks up, and then the truck has an outside speaker so the people around that maybe don't have a radio can hear what people are talking about. So that's what this speaker's for. Right here, to make the horn sound that goes with this speaker, we need an input from the horn itself. And so instead of fighting it out of the dash, since we're already here, we just go ahead and grab the connection from the horn here, and we do a relay back there for that. It requires us to pull the grill off to get access to all those things. And now these trucks are getting more and more complicated. So you have the video camera here, you have the other horn that we had this unclicked so that we could check the polarity of getting the horn. And this is actually a washer for the front camera. As we move on back into this area, we'll be installing a breaker switch that we pick up the batteries. You'll notice these trucks have 2 batteries. We've talked about this in the past. You see these 2 clips here. This is hooked to a battery system on the floor that while we're maintaining these trucks, so the batteries don't go dead, we keep them trickle charged. And then the upfitter switches that we utilize from Ford are in this module. So we've learned how to click this off, and you can pull it up, and then you can get to the wiring harness, and we make a harness, and I'll show you on the finished truck. And then we route these wires down inside this frame, goes on the frame rail. It continues down under the truck to the back where we install more of the equipment. If you've seen our video on the idle, this is where we have unplugged this connector. We thank you guys for sending. Several people have sent us the money, and we've built some connectors and a bunch of relay devices to keep the trucks from idling off after 30 minutes. So a lot of people have picked those up. So here you see we pulled the door trim off. We've got all the trim panels off so we can get access to run our wiring, you know, again from the front to the back. This is where we're going to take the upfitter switches from up there, and the wiring comes back through here, and we can utilize some of that. So you can see how we get all that trim out of the way. As we come further back into the truck, you see we've also dropped the headliner down. This truck supports the Hurricanes and our Motorola Radios, so we use a special Apex radio from Motorola, it's 8500 series, and it has VHF, UHF, and 800, 900, 700 trunking, and so that takes 3 antennas. Our Parker Company radio takes an antenna. We also have an antenna for Wi-Fi and satellite to do timing, and that takes an antenna. Here we've cut out this panel in the back, and we'll mount a piece of wood and a piece of plywood here, and this is where we'll mount our accessory relay, we'll mount our radios, we'll mount some fuse panels, and we'll mount some other equipment that we utilize to finish the install. Power distribution, the radio antenna, all that equipment goes here, and we've cut that out. As we continue on back, you can see we have the toolbox that we're going to utilize temporarily sitting here, and it'll be installed. There's a couple of videos that we show you how we put lighting in that, and then some emergency lighting that goes on the back of this toolbox. We'll continue back. We come to the back of the truck. This is an example of the Feniex light bar that we use. So on the front of the truck, we have a 6 bar or 8. We put on the back, and then on the side of the truck we do another 6 bar. You know, one thing that we like to do with the Feniex lighting is we like to put the bar and then get the width of the whole truck, or here we put the bar and then we get the width down low. And then some folks in our company will actually use the visor lights up inside the dash. So the higher you can get the separation, the bigger you make the picture of the truck look as all the lights are flashing, the better the lighting system works. Kind of a quick overview of what we do to the trucks, and now we're going to walk over to a finished truck. The systems that we have, you can see our speakers installed behind the grill, you can see our 6 light bar, and then we have this additional light here. Under the hood we have all the relays and stuff. The various antennas that we had, we kind of went over what those are. On the side of the toolbox here we have the 6 light bar that goes off to the side. Under the bottom, we mounted it to the frame rail, and it's a rocker light bar. And then as you come around to the back of the truck, you can see, now I did this on my truck. Everybody else, we mount the light bar under the Weather Guard emblem, but here we've mounted it on top of the Weather Guard. I like it higher to get the separation. And on this truck, we utilize the space between the tailgate and the bumper to get that width that I was talking about. We'll pop the hood open and we'll show you inside some of the install features that we were talking about earlier. The truck has 2 batteries, so we've picked up some accessories over here, a couple of fuses, some wiring that goes over here that's dedicated to, on this particular truck I ran the wiring to this side and then across the top just above the firewall. Again, you can see the lighting, all that power runs back over here. Here we've built some harnesses and you can see the 70 amp breaker disconnect where we run power to the back. Here we've picked up some of our key grounds off of the ground of the truck. This harness here is the harness that we were talking about that runs down to the upfitter switches. And then this bundle of cable here, it runs back under the truck, comes down under the truck. Earlier I mentioned how we cut this out and installed a piece of plywood. But in here we have our Motorola radio. This is a company radio. Behind that seat is the one that we utilize for the Hurricanes. This is the outside speaker driver. This is cellular booster. These are a couple of the relays that we use to time off so that we keep the accessory power on the truck. We bury a relay in behind here that leaves all the power on to all these accessories for 1 hour after you turn the truck off. So that's handy. And then after this timer runs out, it shuts all that equipment down. So that's a quick little idea of how that works. So there's a quick little video that kind of gives you an overview of all the systems we put on the truck. Lighting, radios, outside speakers, the different components in the toolboxes, all those things. Be on the lookout in the next couple of videos because we're going to dive directly in specifically to just the lighting, to just the radios, to just the antennas, and give you some pointers on this series of truck, how to route the wires for all those various different components. Maybe be helpful if you're going to run some of the wires yourself on one of these trucks. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'd love for you to subscribe and follow us along.